Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Sheen. I am an Oxford and Cambridge graduate currently working as a strategy consultant in Dubai. And on this channel, we explore strategies on how to help women advance in their careers, and the tips are helpful for anyone as well. Today, I want to talk to you about time management. So one question I get all the time is, how do I manage a job that is 12 hours a day during the week and a YouTube channel where I am currently producing 2 videos a week, and on top of that manage to have a social life? It is a lot, I'm not going to lie. It has been challenging, but also throughout my life, I've always had to manage a lot of things at the same time. In school, I used to go to school and go to private tuitions every day. And then when I went to uni, I would have my uni work. And then I also had a lot of clubs and societies I was part of. And I had sports as well on the side. So there's always been a very busy schedule for me to take care of. And I think because of that, because of years of experience of managing that, I have developed some tools and skills that I think can be quite useful. And I thought I will share them with you today. And also, with all the productivity advice that goes around the world, there is a lot of things that I think a lot of people have already said. So it's nothing groundbreaking, but these are things that have been helpful to me and I hope can be helpful to you as well. So let's get into it. Actually, before we go into the tips, I think it is very important to realize that our time is managed by us, right? I think we do tend to believe that we don't have time, and we feel like, we do not have the control because someone else has the control, whether it's our parents, whether it's school, whether it's our job, our managers, which is to an extent true, right? But we still have control over most of our time. So for example, for me, after I'm done with work, I do have the choice of whether I want to go to the gym, whether I want to watch something on Netflix and just scroll through Instagram, or I want to do something useful with my time, maybe read something or script a video or even film a video. And yes, all of these different tasks require a different amount of energy and require a different amount of brain power and different amounts of you being motivated to do it. So therefore, at the end of the day, it is whether you want to do it or not. And we do have that kind of control. And most of the time I will choose Netflix, right? And it is very normal because in that moment I might need it, but it is a choice. It is still a choice that I am making. And I think I used to complain a lot about the fact that I am working such long hours, I don't have time to do anything, but that is not true. I think it's all about trying to plan, and taking control of your schedule and taking control of your calendar will help you actually free time for things that are important to you. And I think we all do things that are more important to us. For example, me choosing to watch Netflix instead of going to the gym, for example, is because I just don't want to go to the gym enough. If I wanted to go to the gym enough, I would have gone, because that same time slot I used to do nothing, I could have just gone to the gym. So the time is there. It's just about reorganizing the way we see time and, switching that button on that we have control. And if there are things that we want to do, there are ways to make time work for us. So now that I've gone through this long rant, let's get into the actual tips. The first tip is the one that I struggle the most with, is just learning how to say no to things. And because, the older you grow, the more responsibility you have, you just get asked a lot of things to do. And of course, there are some places where you can't say no, at work and in school. And if you have an assignment, you can't just say, no, I choose not to do this one. But when you are being asked to go to a party, when you're being asked to do something as a favor, you're being asked to do something, even as an influencer or a content creator, when you're asked to do something, you can say no, right? And I think it is making that distinction and that filtering right at the point where you're being asked whether you want to do it or not, and thinking to myself, is this something I actually want to do, or am I doing it just because? And if I am doing it just because, then it should be a no, right? And most of the time I try to say no, but sometimes it's difficult. But then if I do say yes to an event or something that I didn't really care about and I didn't really want to go to, then I go there and I just regret it. And I think if I had just said no, it would have saved me from this, and I could have been doing something else with my time. And I try to remind myself of that feeling in that moment, just because it's quite helpful in the next moment moment to remember, do you want to feel that way? No. So just say no if this is not something you want to do. And I think this is quite important to be quite clear about, is this something I want to do? Yes, okay, then do it. I think there's a book, we had loads of it in the flat when I used to live with Ali, which is a hell yes or no book. So it's that concept of, if it is something that you think hell yes, that's the only reason you should be doing this. If it's a maybe, it's a no. And of course that's very black and white. There is more gray areas than this, but I think just doing that assessment and being able to say no to the majority of things that you don't want to do will free your time for you to do things that you want to do. The second thing that I think has been quite useful for me is to have a physical to-do list. Yes, we all work on laptops, on phones and everything, but every day I write myself a physical to-do list, and it is mostly to do with work during the week, because I will start at the start of the day. We have an alignment meeting usually, and I know what I'm meant to be doing today, what are my objectives of the day. And I try to write this down, and I even draw a little circle next to it so that I can tick it once I'm done. But I also try to plan it in a way where it is organized in terms of order of priority. So prioritizing is very, very important, because this tells me that this is what I need to do first, right? And if I've done this is, even if it's the biggest task and I only do this today, at least I've done this, instead of doing 4 other tasks that were not priority. So making a to-do list and prioritizing, definitely super helpful. And also because at the end of the day, when I look back at the list, I know that I've ticked off the biggest task of today. And even if I didn't tick off everything, I know that the prioritized things have been done. It's also easier for me to then communicate to my manager or my team that today this is the list of things that I had to do, and these were the priorities which I have ticked off, and this I have started but not finished. And it makes you look a lot more organized as well. And even for me, I have better management of my day, and there's no task that will slip through the crack because I forgot, right? So it's very good to write everything down throughout the day. If I'm given any more tasks, I will readjust my to-do list. And even during the weekend, when I need to film, I will write my to-do list of, these are the videos that I need to film, these are the videos that need scripting, and I will even write, do the thumbnail, because I might just forget to do the thumbnail and take a photo for it. And I will have a box that also says, upload to Google, let my editor know this is what do I need to communicate to my editor in terms of tips. Like all of this, I will write it down on a to-do list. And for me, the satisfaction of ticking off something off the list is absolutely amazing. The next point is making use of a digital calendar, right? So for me, this has been life-changing. I've been using a Google Calendar for years now, ever since I started university. I've been using digital calendars, and at first I didn't really know what to do with it, but then after using it for 1 year, I realized that, oh my God, I can actually go back if someone asks me, when did we do this? Or even checking on birthdays and stuff. It's just so useful to have, first of all, a way of scheduling everything that you need to do so you don't forget anything. And also secondly, is just a good database of everything that you've done, and you can always check back what you've done, when was it, especially if, let's say, you had a deal with a company or a business and you just want to say, how long has it been since they haven't paid me? All of this is very, very useful. But there are 3 things when it comes to a calendar, I think for me, that are quite important. The first one is that, just time blocking, right? For example, on Saturdays, I will block off 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on my calendar for filming. And this is important for me because when I look at my calendar on Saturday morning, or even during the week, if friends are trying to schedule something, I might forget that I have something, or I might become a bit more complacent and be like, it's okay, I'm sure I could squeeze in the filming some other time. I don't want to do that because it's a priority for me to film. So having the time blocked on my calendar means that even I will not book something else in that time, because it is a reminder that at some point I decided that this is a priority, so I should not move it unless I have to. And then this means that I will plan anything else, any kind of social activity around it, right? So it's protecting that time that is important for me to do something. And of course, you have meetings, you have dinners, you have lunches with people, and you want to know what time it is, where we're meeting. All of this is in the calendar, and I know exactly what's happening when. You have important days as birthdays and just social commitments are there. And this brings me on to the next point with calendar, which is blocking time forces me to allocate a set amount of time to a task. And this brings us to the very famous quote that every productivity person will talk to you about, which is Parkinson's law, which is that any given task will expand to fill in the amount of time you give to it, right? And I think this has been something we all have experienced, whether in school, at uni, whenever I had an assignment, and if I give myself the weekend to do it, I will definitely do it Sunday night, right? I will not start Saturday morning. But if I have a very last minute thing that I need to get done tonight, it will get done within 1 hour. So it's that thing of, if you give yourself way too much time to do it, you will end up using all of that time to do the task that could have been done in about a quarter of that time. So therefore, this is why blocking a set amount of hours in your calendar to do a task means that you will get it done in that time. It's the same thing with me with filming. At the beginning, when I just moved to Dubai, I would be like, okay, Saturday is filming day. But then I would wake up at 11, have lunch, and then I will just get ready in my own time, set up, have a call with my mom, chill, and I will end up filming at night. So it was just not the most ideal way. So I could have spent the whole of Saturday actually out and enjoying myself and just filming at night. But because I decided it's filming day, the whole day I haven't booked anything, but I am not filming either. So this has been eye-opening for me. So then I started saying 2 to 5 is filming time. So then in the morning, if I want to do something, I will do it. I will usually go out for brunch or lunch, and then I will come back, get ready, and film 2 to 5, and then go out again. And I think this has been really, really good. And again, this just puts into practice this whole, if you give it too much time, you're going to end up using that much time to do it. So putting these fake deadlines and these fake schedules just really helps you to actually do the job in that time. And the third thing when it comes to calendar for me is just protected me time. Because I work so much during the week, and then on Saturday I have to film, and I am so lucky to have so many friends in Dubai, and I always want to hang out with them. We always want to do really fun things. There's so much to do. And because I do not meet my friends during the week, I do really want to see them and spend time with them during the weekend. And for a very long time, I realized that I was not having me time, which is awful, because I love me time. I've always lived on my own at uni. And I think it's really nice for me to have time for myself, because it helps me to recharge and, realign with myself, making sure that, to check in, where are you, how are you feeling, all of these things. And I think this is very important when it comes to mental health, and it comes to just general satisfaction with life, right? And therefore now I've started to also block some protected time where nothing can be booked in that time. There can be no meeting, there can be no calls, no social activities, no work. And this is usually on Sunday mornings, and I just give that to myself. I can either go on a walk, I can sit and do nothing, I can read, I can eat, but it is me time, right? And I decide what I want to do with this time, but I know that this is completely protected. And I think this is also very, very important. And while we are on the topic of scheduling and calendars, the next tip that I have is to use automated scheduling. I was a bit skeptical about this because I think that it is a bit of a flex. It is a bit of laziness. It's less like human interaction. But in my previous job at Oxford University, we did have this automatic scheduling. So whenever anyone wanted to meet me, if they send me an email for an introduction call or something, I will just send them a link and they will book the time and it appears on my calendar. I get a reminder when it's time for the meeting, and the link and everything for the Zoom is there, and I just join. And I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. I think this is good. I need this because I used to do the podcast, I have the YouTube channel, I have friends, I have now moved to a country, I grew up in Mauritius, I studied in the UK, and I now live in Dubai. So everyone I know are in different countries. So it's really hard to keep up with that, right? So my parents are in Mauritius, my sister is in America, one of my best friends is in Australia, one is in Mauritius, most of my friends are in the UK, I'm in Dubai. It's really hard to organize any kind of calls, right, when you're trying to catch up over the weekend or something, and you need to start thinking, wait, how many hours is that in terms of time difference? Are you ahead of me? Are you behind? It's just really hard to keep track, right? So I use Calendly. Not sponsored by Calendly, but I think everyone uses Calendly. There's a free version of it, which I use. And I used to think that, oh, it's a bit cringe, isn't it, to send your friend a Calendly link to say book time. But it's so good because now I just send the Calendly link and they book it and it appears on my calendar. And because Calendly automatically links it to your Zoom account as well, now I have my Zoom there as well, and it's great. And we both get it in our calendars, we get reminders on the day, and then we just hop in and have a chat. And it is the most efficient way to do this. And even when it comes to business side of things, you know, when it comes to YouTube and I have sponsors or anyone who's reaching out to me to have a chat, you know, as a content creator, it's easier for me to just send the Calendly link and say, find a time that works for you, because the calendar already tells you when I am free, and it will automatically change to the person's time zone as well. And again, the same thing. We both have the links, we both have the reminders, we are set. And this saves all the back and forth of which time zone are you on? What date are you free? I'm not free that day. What about that day? It's just so many back and forth. And this is so much of my precious time that's being used up by this. And I hate email scheduling. So it's so much easier. It's like having an electronic PA. And I think this is so helpful. And I strongly recommend it, especially if you tend to have a lot of calls that you need to schedule with people and a lot of people reaching out to you. It's the best way. And it helps to keep in touch with friends as well. So, you know, it's a win-win situation. And the final tip that I have is delegation, you know, and I have always been a big fan of delegation because I am lazy mostly, but I absolutely love it. The major task that I delegate is, of course, editing, and it is incredible how much it's helping me keep going with the YouTube channel. It's helping the channel grow because my editor is incredible and he keeps, you know, putting in so much effort, and it's like a teamwork now, right? And I think I love that. And that's very, very helpful, because if I had to sit down, film videos and edit it to upload during the week, I would not be able to do it. I do not simply have the time for that because I am taken up with work. That would have definitely hindered me actually being active on YouTube. So that's one thing, of course. And then the second thing is, you know, just having a PA to schedule things. And that's what I do as well, because now I want to launch season 3 of the podcast. And the reason I haven't done it is because scheduling time with the guests has been so hard for me to do, because it is such a barrier, because I need to sit down, have an allocated time to do this. And at the moment, I just do not want to give time to that because other things are more important to me. Therefore, just having a PA that can do this for me is super helpful and will help me to actually launch season 3. So again, win-win situation. And I know what you're thinking, right? You need money for delegation. You need to pay someone else to do this. And most people probably can't do that at this point in their life. And that's completely understandable, right? But my approach with this, and I think everyone's approach with this when it comes to delegation, is try to figure out how much you think your time is worth, right? Whether it's based on your salary at work or however you want to calculate it, but calculate how much money am I worth in an hour. And now if there's a task that you don't want to do, and that task will cost you less than your worth per hour, then what are you thinking about? Your time is worth more. Use your time for something else that will produce more money that you can just afford to pay for the cheaper task that you can outsource, right? And this has been my approach with cleaning, with laundry, with grocery shopping, everything, right? I think, okay, this is definitely going to cost me less than my personal hourly wage. So I will outsource this job because I can use my time to actually work towards creating more money or just enjoying myself. But, you know, this is kind of like the financial reasoning behind it. And this is how I do it. This is how I've outsourced every little task that I don't like doing. And that frees up my time for me to actually do YouTube, for me to actually spend time with my friends, spend time with myself while everything else is happening. So I strongly recommend doing this mental exercise of how much is my hourly rate. If I don't want to do this task, how can I outsource it? And of course, there are loads of websites like Fiverr where you can find people with varied skills where you can outsource different tasks of your day. So I strongly recommend it. It's been life-changing for me, and it's helped me to free time where I can now actually do a lot more other things that have helped me to grow on YouTube, helped me to grow as a person, and here we are. So this is how I think it has helped me to have such a full-on 12-hour-a-day job while also maintaining a YouTube channel on the side. It's just about the mentality and, taking control and changing your way of thinking when it comes to time. And I think the final leaving thought that I have is to just remember that at the end of the day, if you haven't completed everything on your to-do list, I know you can feel bad about it, but there are two things you can do here, is to look back at what you have actually accomplished and, be like, okay, I've actually worked a lot today. I have done this, and this did take a lot of time. So it's not like I haven't worked on a lot of things. But also secondly, just remind yourself that you feeling bad before going to bed about how you spent your day doesn't change anything about how you spent your day. So tomorrow is a new day. Just, okay, well, I didn't do as much as I should have today. I'll try again tomorrow and be a little bit better at planning my day. It's always about your mentality and just choosing not to feel bad about it, Learn from it, of course. If you just wasted your day, do not do that again. Learn from it. But also just most of the time, it's not that you wasted your day. It's just that you had higher expectations of how you could have handled your time. And things just take a lot more time than you thought. And that's okay, and that's absolutely okay. Everyone should understand that. And you move on, you decide that I'm very happy with what I've accomplished for the day. Tomorrow's a new day, let's try again, right? And this is what I'm trying to put into practice as well. So let's see how it goes. But thank you for being here. I hope this is helpful in any way. If you have any more tips that you think could be helpful in terms of time management, please do share them with me in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.